Welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose, where we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. Yes, I'm the Goose. Been a while. Glad to have you back. Got some interesting stuff to talk about today, but of course, we need to start with our medicine, right? You know, my medicine is caffeine. I'm not afraid to admit it. And my coffee, very strong, just like my opinion. Got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. Excellent. Today, we're going to talk about not so much boxing, but a boxer and what happened to him and hopefully what will happen to him in his personal life here in the future. And of course, that's Errol Spence Jr. You know, he's coming off another welterweight title victory over Sean Porter recently. Errol Spence Jr., 29 years old, undefeated, full of vim and vinegar, full of confidence. Good for him. But not so good. A horrible accident, which was, I think, almost 2 weeks ago. And, you know, how he survived. And not number one, how he lived through this. And number two, how he survived with very apparently, now we don't know all the details, apparently minimal injuries. It's borderline miraculous. He made some really bad moves, you know, and I'm not here to get on my soapbox. I'm a sinner, okay? I got my own history, and we'll get into a little bit of that too, just to let you know, that I understand his plight. I understand what it's like to lay in that hospital bed. It ain't no fun, and it's very humbling. But Errol Spence Jr. had too much to drink. He went for a little drive in his Ferrari convertible, forgot or neglected to buckle his seatbelts. All the while, his little kids are waiting back home. Flipped the vehicle over multiple times, was ejected from the vehicle, and lived. I'm stunned and thankful, okay, because me, along with people I know and many of you, were praying for his speedy and full recovery. And God has answered our prayers. It was a little frustrating, you know, being a fan and being a fan of his, waiting for over a week to get, you know, some concrete information. What's happening with him? What kind of injuries did he have? All we heard was that he was in intensive care, and I've been in intensive care. You're not in good shape when they put that label on you. But he has been released from the hospital, and because of his celebrity status, he got away with just a DWI charge. Could have been a lot more. And from what I've heard, and again, I don't know any official details, he suffered some broken teeth and some facial lacerations. And if that's all he suffered, good for him. I am very happy for Errol Spence Jr. What's a little disappointing is his response, his first statement after being released from the hospital: "I'm a savage." Okay, Errol Spence Jr., you're a champion. Okay, you're a savage. We get that. Yeah, you know, we agree. You're a savage. But after recovering from a near-death car crash, that's all you have to say? I think the least you could do, Errol, is respond to all these people who prayed for you and say, hey, thanks, and thank God, and I'm humbled. Now, let me back up a second and give you my, just a little bit. This isn't going to be all about me, but I just want to let you know that I've walked in those shoes. I understand. It's been a while, but my memory is pretty good. It's been 14 years ago. I had a horrible accident, traumatic brain injury. I don't remember it. Had a surgery, in a coma for 3 weeks. It was that nasty. But I survived by the grace of God and because of many, many wonderful people praying for my recovery. But you know what? The first thing I remember is a month later. That was my first memory. I was in the hospital for a month. I don't remember any of that. But what I do remember is being wheeled into rehab, inpatient rehab, and along with being confused and frustrated and I'm okay, which I wasn't. The first thing I remember is I am better off than any other patient there, even with my, crushed noggin. As bad as I had it, what I heard in the middle of the night, was horrible. Many of the other people in this rehab unit had been in motorcycle accidents. With me, it was just my head, but I'm hearing moans and groans and crying from other rooms in this rehab unit, and I learned very quickly, boy, you're lucky. You're very and I don't use the word luck very much. It's blessed. You are very blessed and humbled. Thank God. Thank God. I still thank God for bringing me back from that. And, I praise God. I'm humbled. Yeah, I'm still a tough guy. Yeah, I'm savage too, right? No, I'm not. I'm very human and I'm very fragile. Errol Spence Jr., I hope he's learned the same lesson. I don't know what's going to happen with his boxing career. He may never fight again. We don't know. We don't know the extent of his injuries. But one thing he needs to know, and he needs to look in the mirror, like we all do. And that mirror ain't very nice, right? Because it shows us how we really are. There's nothing hiding. You don't, you're not going to impress yourself, are you? You look in that mirror, you see yourself, who you really are. And I saw myself. I still many times don't like it. But he's got to do the same thing, like all of us. Errol Spence Jr. needs to recognize, first of all, I didn't hurt anybody. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Errol Spence Jr. You hurt your fans. You let them down. Your kids waiting for you at home, little kids, and they have to see dad going through this. Your family, who you hurt badly. They prayed and they hurt. Yeah, that's my phone. Sorry about that. But you hurt them. You hurt people with your, stupid, let's be honest, you're not a stupid guy, but you made stupid decisions. I don't hate the sinner. I hate the sin. Errol Spence Jr., you messed up. You got drunk. Hey, fine, go party. Have fun. You got drunk and drive, and you could have killed somebody. You could have killed yourself. And you hurt people. You hurt yourself. You could have killed people. It's time to step up, It's time to acknowledge the mistakes you made and admit and apologize to the people who love you. Maybe you already have. And all of us need to do this, All of us. I walked a bad road for many, many years with drugs and foolish behavior. I've had the opportunity, thank God, to go to confession and ask God for forgiveness and apologize to my loved ones for the hurt I brought into their life. But Errol Spence Jr. needs to do that. He's got to step up as a human being and look at himself in the mirror and acknowledge what's happening. I don't know whether Errol Spence Jr. has a drinking problem. I don't know if he's an alcoholic. I don't know. Only he knows and his family knows. But he's got to step up. Just a couple of quick, just to let you know how fortunate this man is. I looked it up, and I covered a lot of this as a news director on the radio for years. I read all about car crashes, and I was taught, by the way, by sheriff's deputy, don't say the word accident. Please don't say that. Say crash, collision, say wreck. Don't use the word accident because there ain't no such thing. Somebody screwed up, and Errol Spence Jr. screwed up. It wasn't an accident. Bad move. 83%. Let this sink in. 83% of the people who are ejected from a vehicle in a crash die. That's not even injuries. 83, I'm going to repeat it so it sinks in. 83% of people who get ejected from a vehicle in a crash don't live another day. It's done. He is one of the very, very lucky or blessed few. So, I'm happy for Errol Spence Jr. I really am. I appreciate his skills, his fighting spirit, his physical ability. He's a great fighter. But guess what? At the end of the day, he's a human being. And he's very, very blessed. And I just hope Errol Spence Jr. is humbled. We all need to be humbled, right? Before God. And he asks God for forgiveness and understands look, I made a mistake, or not a mistake. I made a bad decision. So Errol Spence Jr., if your fighting career continues, that's fine. Good for you. You have a family to support. That's your life. But do yourself a favor. Do your family a favor. Step up. Acknowledge your wrongdoings, as we all have to, and I've done. I'm with you, brother. None of us are perfect. And, acknowledge there is a God who loves you and forgives you and wants you wants your praise and your thankfulness. So there you have it. That's the word from a boxing fan and an Errol Spence Jr. fan. I admire him. And again, I don't know the details because of HIPAA laws. Back in the day, again, I covered this on the radio. I could call the hospital and get all the details. They give me every little bit of information about anybody, but those days are gone. So, and rightly so. He deserves privacy, but at the same time, he's a celebrity. So, I don't want to say he owes it to us, but to a degree, he does. We want to find out how he's doing. We don't relish in his pain. Not me. I hope and pray Errol Spence Jr. gets a full, healthy recovery and and understands where he is and how blessed he is. So there you have it. We'll try and stay abreast of his condition and how things go for Errol Spence Jr. That's it for this edition of Coffee with a Goose. Glad you joined me. Always a pleasure to talk to you folks. And, we've got many more shows to come. And of course, boxing is part of it. We've got other subjects we're going to cover as well. So stick with me. All right, that's it for this show. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.